Good afternoon to one and all. Today we are going to derive snells law derivation. We already know that snells law is also known as the second law of refraction. Snells law is defined as the ratio of sin of angle of incidence to the sin of angle of refraction is constant. So n sin I by sin R is equal to n2 by n1. n1 sin I is equal to n2 sin R. This is the required relation we have to solve. Already we know that sin I by sin R value, and we are aware of that n2 by n1 is equal to v1 by v2. Refractive index is always inversely proportional to velocity. If velocity increases, refractive index decreases. If refractive index increases, velocity decreases. One student went to a camp and he was going on a sea. When he was going on a sea, due to accident happened in the boat and suddenly he fall into the water. And the persons who are at the sea shore has seen that person and they wanted to save that person. Actually, that person is here. Let B is the person who fall into the sea due to an accident. And a person from A has to save that person. See, always remember, if you move on the land, it takes less distance if you move on the water. When compared to if you move on the water. When we move on the water, it takes a lot of time to save that person. Hence, chances a person may die. But if you cover maximum distance on the land, then we can save that person very comfortably. Now, let us see the path. It has two paths. One is this path. If we travel in this path, we can save the person. And let it be C. ACB is one path where the person can be saved. Then there is another path, that is ADB. Let us extend. ADB is another path where a person can be saved. Now, let us draw a perpendicular E here and let us draw a perpendicular F here. So, if a person want to be saved, we have to travel from A to E, then to C, then to B, and another path is from A to D, D to F, and F to B. Here we want to find out the distance of EC. We already have formula. Speed is equal to velocity is equal to displacement by time. Velocity is equal to displacement by time. Let the velocity of in traveling the distance ACB is V1 and the time period is delta t. Then velocity V1 is equal to displacement is EC by time is delta t. Then consider this df. Same formula, velocity is equal to displacement by time. The displacement is df and velocity is v2 by delta t. Now, if you want to calculate EC is equal to v1 into delta t. Similarly, df is equal to v2 into delta t. Now, consider two right angle triangles there. One right angle triangle is nothing but CED. CED. Another right angle triangle is nothing but DFC. Here we have two right angle triangles. One is CED and another one is DFC. And here the angle is I, and here the angle is R. I and the angle is R. This is a right angle triangle. We are very well aware of that A right angle triangle has hypotenuse and one angle has 90 degrees. Any triangle in which one of the angle is 90 degrees is called a right angle triangle. And if we calculate the sin I, we know that sin theta formula is equal to opposite side by hypotenuse, and cos theta formula is equal to adjacent side by hypotenuse. Here we use sin theta. So theta, sin theta is equal to opposite side by hypotenuse. Here theta in the sense I, sin I is equal to opposite, this is called opposite side. CE is the opposite side. This is called hypotenuse. The longest side in the right angle triangle is called hypotenuse. That is DC. Sin I is equal to CE by DC. Now let us find out sin R. Sin R is equal to opposite side is DF and the hypotenuse is DC. Then sin I by sin R is equal to CE by DC by DF by DC. Here DF by DC is dividing. If it goes up, numerator and denominator will be reversed. Then we will be getting sin I by sin R equals to CE by DC into DC by DF. DC gets cancelled. Sin I by sin R equals to CE by DF. We already know the value of CE. The value of CE is V1 and the value of DF is V2. We already know the relationship between V1 and V2, between V1 and V2 and refractive index N1 and N2. V1 by V2 is equal to N2 by N1. V2 by V1 is equal to N1 by N2. By replacing the values, instead of V1 by V2, replace the values of N2 by N1. Sin I by sin R is equal to N2 by N1. N1 sin I is equal to N2 sin R. Hence, the Snell's law is derived. I would like to tell you within a minute clearly about this. A person was traveling in a boat, but due to accident, person falls into the sea, and how to save that person can be used by using Snell's law. Here is a person A. Here is a person A who is at the seashore. Here is a person B who fall into the water. If you want to save him, we want to derive Snell's law. By deriving Snell's law, it is one of the application of Snell's law to save a person. And Snell's law is also called as second law of refraction. Thank you.